Good morning, Facebook and YouTube. So we can go with FoodTube or we can go with Facebook. That's not funny, is it? Saturday morning, made by Moyse done. Done a little bit of a shop as well because it is Mother's Day tomorrow, so you know what us guys have to do. We have to go and get all the flowers, etc. the day before. And there is a reason behind that, by the way. It's not that guys are being selfish or have forgotten getting things the day before. It's that flowers die. And we don't have many places to hide them, and they only live so long in the boot of a car. So we have to get them the day before. So ladies, before you're too hard on your man saying, oh my god, you got my flowers from Tesco's, or oh my god, you got my flowers the day before Mother's Day, it's because we don't want them to die, and we want them to be fresh just for you. And yes, with it being Saturday, it means that it is 3 days post what we'll now call the 12K challenge. And as promised, I would update you guys on my weight. Now, those of you will remember that when I did the challenge, I finished it and was sitting at a weight of 175.2 pounds. 6.8 pounds up on what I was the night before. This morning, weighed in and I'm down 4.4 pounds at 170.8. Now, for those of you thinking, well, Moyse, you've been back in a deficit, you've been back doing your cardio, back doing your workouts, the answer to that is because I have deliberately kept myself at maintenance the last few days. I haven't placed myself in a calorie deficit purely so there wasn't the stigma of, well, you know, you've been back in deficit, so of course you've lost. Therefore, my body has successfully removed 4.4 pounds of the 12K weight purely from being at maintenance. Now, I'm not saying that's 4.4 pounds of fat gone, but obviously the food volume has worked its way through and my body is beginning to normalise again. So that's 4.4 pounds down of 6.8. So obviously we've still got another 2.4 pounds to go, but it's a start. In terms of blood glucose, a lot of you have been asking me about that. So you know what? Let's do it now. And our survey says 5.6. So bear in mind I've had breakfast this morning, which will have affected my blood glucose, but we are back in the upper end of normal range again, but obviously body is still processing this morning's breakfast. So no lasting effects in terms of blood sugar either. It's simply just a little bit of weight that needs to be removed, but obviously that will come off with time anyway. Lunchtime! Come on in! So, I've had a lot of people ask me about the nutrient side of things of what I did with the 12,000 calories that I consumed on Wednesday. So, MyFitnessPal is open, let's run you through it. So, protein, 313 grams. Not a huge amount, I know some bodybuilders that eat that per day, to be fair, every day. But protein is quite filling, it takes longer to break down, so it was a good idea to go pretty sparing on it. Carbs, 1,279, of which 722 grams of that were sugar. Fat, 632 grams, and I'm not surprised that I held a lot of water the next day, because sodium, 9,950 milligrams. That's pretty decent. I've had a few people say to me, are you going to do the challenge again, or are you going to attempt it again? The problem with my attempt at the 20K is I filled it with a lot of foods that I didn't massively like, but I just knew they were very calorific. For example, I've never even eaten a whole tub of Biscoff spread on its own, let alone with a cheesecake. Haven't had that cheesecake in a while. The bacon double XL, for example, isn't my go-to Burger King burger, so there was a lot of faux pas I made, some of which I've already mentioned, you know, timing, the first meal, etc. So I've tracked it and I've kind of planned it again in terms of doing the challenge again, and with the foods that I enjoy, which I feel I can realistically eat, I've hit just over 15,000. So if I can find a way of getting another 5,000 calories into that, because I'm not going to attempt a 15,000 calorie challenge because it's just 3,000 calories more. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do what I originally set out to do. But it's going to take some planning, and it's going to take a lot of will and forgetting how I felt on that particular day. Rach will probably disown me. She already kind of scoffed because I said to her, don't ever let me do this again. And yeah, I'm potentially thinking about doing it again. I've also got another couple of challenges lined up, which will be quite interesting going forwards, but I won't tell you about those yet. But yes, basically as well, if I do the second attempt at 20,000 calories, then nobody's gonna know, because I don't want the added pressure of knowing that people know what I'm up to that day. So essentially what I'm gonna do is just do it, film it, and then go, oh, by the way guys, I did it. So if one day you are browsing through YouTube and a video pops up and you go, oh, 20,000 calorie challenge, then you know. But for now, yeah, more planning needed. Good morning and happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there. Rachel just had her prezzies, got back from my walk, and now it is time to make the obligatory mummy cup of tea. And here's 5 she made earlier. Good dancing there, Jay. Holly's come to watch Daddy's cool workout, haven't you? You alright? Oh, Pen's come too. One more round, I'll be with you. Now, maybe be 6 minutes. So, now that's done, let's talk to you guys about perspective. There was a recent study done of 65 women, and they were asked to keep a food diary for just a week. Just log in how many calories they think they consumed. Now, it wasn't a case of just pie in the sky, they could use food labels, etc. And what they found is that out of 65 women, the logging inaccuracy was about 37%. Basically, they were under recording their calories by 37%. To put that into perspective, if we take the average female deficit calories of 1,500, and we plus 37% to 1,500, we get 2,055 calories. What that basically could mean is the difference between you being in a deficit and at maintenance. In real world terms, what that means is that's the difference between you losing weight and staying the same. And this is where you get most people's problem come from when they reach their first or second weigh-in. They may believe that they are 100% absolutely on it, accurate, there's no kind of doubting what they've done, but in actual fact, there could be a logging inaccuracy of up to 37%. What you've got to ask yourself is how much of a margin of error do you want when it comes to your goal? If you're happy to just wing it and some weeks you lose, some weeks you don't, then so be it. Me personally, I'd rather make sure I leave no stone unturned, because that goal is the goal. We all want to get there as optimal as we possibly can. So, as much as you feel you may be logging accurately, if you jump on the scales and you haven't dropped, it's going to be pretty much down to 2 reasons. One is water retention. Could be due to stress, hormones, medication, illness, salt intake, fluctuations in water intake. There's any number of reasons that can cause water retention. But what you then look at is number 2, which is adherence. Not just adherence to the protocols, the exercise, etc., but actual adherence when it comes to the accuracy of your logging. Because it's only going to be one of these 2 things. In terms of things like the speed of your metabolism, there's not a huge amount you can do to affect that. Of course, there are things like refeeds which have been proven in some studies to be effective. I personally do use them because, again, I'd rather make sure that stone isn't unturned just in case it does make a difference. But there's mixed reports. But it's very much a case of if you adhere to a calorie deficit for long enough and you are actually in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. It's irrefutable. Bottom line, folks, if your goal is important to you, then you'll want to take steps to reduce that margin of error. So make sure you weigh your food. You can do that every time like I do, or you can do it in the beginning just to get used to portion sizes. Also, when you scan in food into MyFitnessPal using the barcode scanner, do double check the label. This root vegetable mash and the other mash that we get from Tesco's, the label actually says that it's less calories than MyFitnessPal comes up with. We end up using about an extra 70 to 80 calories by logging on MyFitnessPal. So if it can be inaccurate in one way, i.e. you're actually consuming less calories than you thought, then it can be the other way too. So just double check your foods, and if in doubt, triple check. Right, despite the fact that it's Mother's Day, the graft doesn't stop. So at present, Rach is out having breakfast with her mum. I'm going to be heading out with my mum in a couple of hours' time. So I need to get this video edited so you guys can watch it later on today. So, usual rules apply. If you've enjoyed it and you're watching this on YouTube, then please give the channel a subscribe. That way you find out the moment there is a new video. And going forwards, there will be future videos that are on YouTube and not on Facebook. So it's worth following me on both. Speaking of Facebook, if you're watching this on there, please do give the video a little share for me, just so it's on your timeline, so more and more people can be brought to the page, because there are now hundreds of videos designed completely to motivate you guys and help you navigate the ridiculously confusing fitness world. If I can help just one person with each video, then I'll be a very, very happy man, and these videos have done their job. If I've entertained you, then you know what, they've done another job there too. So, thank you ever so much for watching, guys. Mums, have a fucking fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. All the best.